Hey, what's up guys? Well, Happy New Year. Well, belated Happy New Year. Obviously this is the first video I've put out since the Aero Pro one, so I just thought I would do a little bit of a question and answer thing, just bring you up to date on what's happening. So, obviously I haven't had any videos out for a couple of weeks. The main reason for I have been taking a break, to tell you the truth. I've just been at it for such a long time now, 7 days a week in most instances, that I just wanted a couple of weeks off from working on various projects. Plus I am actually working on another project, another YouTube channel, nothing related to cars. It's a music channel, so I'll stick a link in the description if I remember. Anyway, obviously I am in the Transit, yeah. So I've had a few people ask basically what's going on, what's happened with the Transit. So, I'm not even sure if I've mentioned this now, but well, I may have done in the video. I may have mentioned this in the mini videos. Anyway, I had someone approach me. I think it was around August or thereabouts. I was over at Newark. I'd been to the swap meet, and I'd actually just popped into the local Morrison's so on my way home. Anyway, I had this couple approach me, and they liked the Transit. They just wanted to have a good chat about it, and I mentioned that it was coming up for sale, and they were very interested in it. So, a bit of discussion went back and forth. They actually came over to my home here a couple of days later. I took them out in the van, had a good chat about it, and they were really excited. So they wanted the van for around about Christmas. They were planning on heading off. They wanted a classic vehicle, basically. They wanted to do a lot of basically vintage events and classic events, and they wanted just a classic vehicle to travel, but they didn't want something too old. They wanted something that still, well, basically was classified as a classic, but something that, was modern enough to be a bit more convenient to drive, which was fair enough. So we agreed on a price, and they left me a £200 deposit. So that was then. I'd explained to them that I was still in the shakedown process with the van, that it hadn't been on the road very long, and I still needed to make sure everything was going to be working okay on it. I already knew at that point that I was going to be changing the engine. I'd explained to them, the problems I was having, and that I had a new engine to go in, and they were over the moon about that. They were really happy about that. So that's where we left it. Anyway, you've seen the other videos on the Transit. I put the engine in, I've sorted out the gauges and everything in it, and all seemed well. I went ahead and bought the Mini, put a reasonable amount of money into it, and Christmas came. I went off to visit some family and friends, came back, and that was when I got a message from them asking for their deposit back. And I said, basically asking them what was going on. At first thought was, last year was quite hard on a lot of people. Maybe they'd gotten into some sort of financial difficulty. Anyway, long story short, they changed their mind on the van, and they decided rather than having a van to go around various classic events, they'd rather have a classic car and a classic caravan. So they'd bought a Mark II Granada Estate, and they'd bought, I think it was a 70s or early 80s, I'm forgetting the name of it, Mustang caravan. And basically they had decided that they wanted their deposit back. And I was like, well, wait a moment, when did all of this happen? Anyway, apparently it had happened sometime late September, and they decided, oh no, we won't say anything, we will just ask for the deposit. And it got quite let's just say, heated, because I refused to give them the deposit back. The whole point of the deposit was that was to cover me holding the van in case they backed out of it. And I might add to this that I have actually turned down 2 other offers on the van because I was holding it for them. So here we are. It's coming up to the end of January. This video probably won't go out till February, but just coming up to the end of January, and yeah, so I still have the Transit. Now, someone did point out to me the other day they saw that I had the Mini up for sale, and that is true. I do have the Mini advertised there at the moment, and I need to get some money back out of it. Unfortunately, a lot of the work I was planning on doing early on this year on the camper van was based on having some finances coming out of this Transit, and obviously that hasn't happened. I now have a wedding to go to in the end of February, and we're up in Scotland, and I have not been able to find any accommodation, mainly because it's off season, everywhere's closed. So I'm hanging on to the Transit until at least the beginning of March, because I'm just going to take the van up there. I will be able to park on somebody's driveway. There is power to plug into, so I'll have heat and everything in the van, so it's not going to be an issue. I've done this a couple of times over at the shop. I've stayed in the van over there, so yeah, but I need to get some finances moving so I can get on with the VW. I mean, it's that simple. These projects get quite expensive, and so my only source of the only thing I've got that I can sell at the moment is the Mini. So yeah, the Mini is up for sale. If I still have the Mini after the Transit sells, then obviously I will be keeping it. Also, I do still have the Astra. That's still kicking about there, so I do still have the Astra. It needs a bit of work though, so again, it all comes down to money. Anyway, moving on. Another question I've asked. Will I ever do a shop tour, a walk around the workshop, looking at all the vehicles there? This is something I would like to do. Unfortunately, that workshop does not belong to me. That belongs to a good friend. And although he's quite happy for me to walk around his vehicles, there are quite a few other vehicles there that don't belong to him. Just other friends like myself that are using the shop. I've got stuff stored there, and I've chatted with most of them, quite a few of them, and some of them just don't want their vehicles covered in the video, and it's very, very difficult to do a walk around without getting them constantly in the videos. So as it stands right now, I'm probably not going to be able to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to respect other people's wishes. You know, not everybody wants their vehicles on YouTube, and that's just the way it is. So unfortunately, that probably will not happen. Well, not in any time soon anyway. Now, a lot of people have asked what's happening with the VW. Yes, there are some more videos coming on the VW. Obviously, like I've just explained, it's, cash flow. That's the biggest problem I've got at the moment. I am, however, starting to do some work on the pop-up top, so I will have a video coming on that. We do have maybe some warmish weather heading our way, so I might get that driver's door finished. Is it the driver's door? Yeah, it was the driver's door that needed painting. I might get that finished off, so obviously that'll pop up in a video. I need to do the headliner and all of that, so there is some stuff that I'm going to get into shortly, so there will be some videos coming on that shortly. So, and one other question that pops up quite a lot is, do I have any other upcoming projects for this year? And the answer's, I don't know. I mean, I was going to be doing some work on not an MX-5, the little Toyota sports car, MR2. and it was a friend's car. He wanted a supercharger putting on it. He wanted the body kit changing on it and it painting. However, he's now getting married, so that's unlikely to happen. I mean, they're looking. Last thing I heard, they were looking at a Ford Cougar or something. So I think his MR2 is probably gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Other than that, there is another Jeep, World War II Jeep, to be done. I don't know how much involvement I'm going to have with that. It's over at the shop. There is some paint and body work to do on it, but it should have been already underway by now. But my buddy Alex, he's a bit of a procrastinator, and it's not moving along. So I honestly don't know about that. I'm really not sure what will happen with that. There is another camper van to do. I don't have a time scale for that, but in many of my videos you'll have seen there's an LDV, a red LDV high top van sits around the yard. Well, that's just such a nice vehicle, and we are looking at doing a camper van conversion on that. It will go up for sale once complete. Little bit of history behind that. That was my buddy Andy's van, and he's got the LDV pickup, and he tends to use the pickup more than the van, so the van's just sat there. We did have somebody approach us last year and ask if we could do a camper van conversion on it, but it's, you know, this happens a lot. People will ask you to do things, and then when you start to talk about finances, etc., they're not overly enthusiastic anymore. I don't know what people think these days, but yeah, sometimes these conversions, and it's not just the labour costs, it's just materials. Everything's just getting so expensive now. It's, you know, that's just the way it is. You know, there's nothing to do about it. I'm not trying to rip people off or anything. It's just everything's just so damned expensive. So that's a possibility. We have talked about doing a shepherd's hut as well, and for anybody that wants to know what a shepherd's hut is, I had actually looked it up. I'd heard the term before, but it's basically it's kind of like a tiny home on wheels. You know, think of it like that. And that's also, we do actually have the trailer that we're going to build it on, but again, my priority this year has got to be the VW. That is my absolute priority. It's sat there for such a long time, and last year I had so many hold-ups with various different things. It just got impossible. So this year it is absolutely the VW, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so frustrated at the moment, because there are so many things that I had planned on actually being involved with right now, having done or doing myself, and I'm at a complete standstill until I get a little bit more financially solvent. Yeah, I'm not one of the big millionaire YouTube channels, so yeah, everything comes out of my own pocket, so that's just the way it is. So there you have it. I think I've just about covered everything that I can think of, so yeah. Anyway, that's it for now, so like and subscribe. Come back and see me sometime. Have a good one.